Well, here we are again for another Maintenance Monday, and again, I have Job Cooper with me from Wyckoff Heating and Cooling, 33 years of experience. Unmatched, man. You give me a lot of information every time we talk. We sit around, we round table talk here all the time. We do it on the phone, and the other day, I had someone telling me or asking me, it's like, why my air conditioner doesn't seem like it's cooling down? And it got me thinking, it's like, well, maybe Job could tell us today how they size an air conditioner, how they size a furnace for these new homes.
Yeah, and it's very important, and an undersized piece of equipment obviously is not good. It's not going to keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter, but an oversized piece of equipment can be as detrimental as well, especially when it comes to the air conditioner. But what we do for every new dwelling that we do the installation on is we have to do what they call a manual J load calculation. It's done on computer software that's approved by ACA, by all the cities. And what it does is it takes into consideration every room, the orientation, all the glass, the sidewall insulation, the attic insulation, the orientation, which way it faces, and the elevation, if it's a walkout or a daylight or possibly a full dig. And this all goes into this computer software, and then at the end of it, it shows us what our heat loss is for the wintertime, and it tells us what our heat gain is for the summertime. And then we have to match up the appropriate size equipment to fit within that criteria. When we're talking air conditioning, it's acceptable to size it from 100% of what the load was up to 115%. On the heating side of things with the furnace, it's acceptable from 100% to 140%. Now keep in mind the design criteria, and this isn't our criteria, this is a criteria set by code and ACA, is in this region. In the wintertime, we have to maintain 70 degrees indoors when it's -4 degrees outdoors. Okay. Conversely, in the summertime, we have to maintain 75 degrees when it's 90 degrees outside. And there's a lot of factors that go into that too. When we're looking at a house, one of the criteria is that each bedroom will have an occupant in it, except for the master, it'll have 2. So if you've got a 4-bedroom house, it's going to show 5 occupants. Well, maybe only 2 people live there, right. So it could change the thing substantially based on not as many people. Or conversely, maybe it's set up and we're showing 5, but maybe they have several kids and there's 2 in this bedroom, 3 in this bedroom, there's 8 people living in this house. That's going to affect the way that the equipment can, sometimes keep it cool when it gets into those extreme conditions. And that's the thing, when we get into extreme conditions, we're outside of the design parameters. Equipment may struggle at times.
Right.
We saw last year with those -50 wind chills, we got some calls from people saying, yeah, my furnace isn't getting above 65 degrees. And you're going, well, it was designed to maintain 70 at -4. And when you look at the weather data, we don't have a lot of cold days below even 10 degrees. Yeah. So you have to design for normal conditions. And then when you hit those extreme conditions, there's might be a small time where it's not going to quite do what it's supposed to do.
Summertime, we might hit 100.
Oh, yeah.
And high humidity.
Yeah, and you look at those.
And what do we expect? It to be 70 degrees inside?
We would
not like it to be. We'd like it to be, right?
And I always use this, we can have a properly sized air conditioner or furnace for 95% of the time. And then the other 5% of the time when we're outside the design criteria, we're just going to have to live with it. Or we can have an oversized air conditioner or furnace 95% of the time. So what code wants, what we want to do is stick within the normal conditions and design for that to make sure that
we're not just guessing here on what to put
in. Oh, absolutely not. We have those and they have to be submitted to the cities for permit purposes, and they review those and make sure that everything is being followed according to code and according to what ACA standards are.
And does that go in with your HERS rating too, or part of the energy?
Yes, yep, and we will submit those typically to the HERS raters so that when they get their code compliance information put together for permit purposes, it includes our stuff as well. So yeah, it's not a guessing game. I'd like to tell you that 30 years ago it wasn't a guessing game, but it was probably a little more of a guessing game
maybe
back
a little
then.
bit back then.
Bigger was better.
Yeah.
And we have found out over the years that getting a properly sized furnace and air conditioner is very crucial, and a lot of it goes where we talked before about high humidity, an oversized air conditioner that doesn't have the run time is not going to dehumidify.
Right, can't pull that
Exactly.
humidity out
If it's
at all.
not running, it's not going to
Yeah.
dehumidify. And people have to keep in mind too that an air conditioner doesn't hit its peak efficiency and capacity until about 8 minutes into a run cycle. So if you've got an oversized air conditioner, it's running 2 minutes and then shutting off for 20 minutes and then 2 minutes, you're not getting the benefits of dehumidification, efficiency, or the capacity that you should be
we just
getting.
don't think about that.
No.
We just think that it's an air conditioner, it should do everything and be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
to keep in mind too that, when these are installed, you got a clean air conditioner, you got a clean coil. So making sure that you keep your equipment clean, like we talked about before, is a big part of making sure that they can do what you want them to do in those extreme conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Oh,
Man,
my
you've been
pleasure.
a great guest here. A lot of good information there. So, we've been talking here for a few weeks about heating and cooling, and really do appreciate you coming in. And, maybe we'll get another one in here. I'm not sure. But, hey, you join us next Monday and you find out here on a Maintenance Monday. Thank you.